I'm Jason Pierce. I'm a personal trainer, and this is part 2 of a 2-part series on aging. If you haven't seen the first one, check it out here. It goes over the general pitfalls of aging that we all have to deal with, and in general, why we need to deal with them and how to deal with them. In this video, I'm going to be very specific about how to do those things. I mentioned that there are 4 things we need to do. We need to move more. We need to advocate for our own medical health. We need to eat better, and we need to socialize. So I'm going to talk about each of those things. So we're going to start with moving better, exercise. Exercise is the #1 medicine for aging better. If you start exercising and you do 25% more exercise than you did last week, your health expectancy and quality of life expectancy will go up like 80%. So doing a little bit more exercise really makes a huge impact on your life. And why is this? Because exercise stimulates the muscles, and the muscles stimulate the immune system and really get your systems moving in the right way. Muscle is key to life. We need to build muscle. Okay, so moving. But what does that look like? Dr. Stacy Sims has come up with the 91-minute prescription. 91 minutes a week of movement. That's not a lot. So that's an hour and a half over 7 days. So you can do that in 20 minutes a day. You can do it in 3 sessions of 30 minutes. But what she's talking about is getting your heart rate up and resistance training, not just going for a walk. Going for a walk is a great start. And if you walk every day, that is phenomenal. And you should start if you don't already do that. Walk for 10 minutes every day. That should be step 1. Step 2 is add 91 minutes a week of getting your heart rate up and resistance training. That means when you're walking, walk faster for 10 minutes or jog a little bit for 10 minutes. Or if you want to go to the gym, hop on an elliptical for 10 minutes. Just get your heart rate up. Resistance training means lifting things that are heavy. And that can mean putting a weighted vest on when you walk. That can mean grabbing some weights and just moving them. You don't have to do anything particularly fancy. You just have to do something you enjoy that involves resistance. Yoga is a way to do resistance. You could do Tai Chi, other martial arts if you enjoy it. Weightlifting, just picking up heavy things, carrying a couple gallons of water around. You don't have to work out like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You just need to work out more than you are now. And if you don't know exactly what that's going to look like for you, talk to a personal trainer. You can always talk to me. And yes, that will cost money, but putting in a little bit of money now towards your health will save you tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars down the line. So get a program together that you can follow. So that's movement. Now let's talk about being proactive with your medical care. The way our current medical system works in America is that it's very reactive. So it waits until you are sick before it really does anything. But there are definitely ways to find out if you're going to be sick, take steps to prevent becoming sick. And especially in relation to heart disease and cancer, you can find some things out right now that will tell you if you are more predisposed to these things than other people. So for example, I'm a healthy person. I test above average or excellent in most metrics for health. But I know that I'm probably going to need either a stent or bypass surgery at some point in my life. Why? Because I am genetically predisposed to having clogged arteries. And I found that out through a test. And also cancers. I mean, just look at your family history. For example, I'm fairly sure I'm going to have prostate cancer at some point because every other male in my family has had it. So I'm prepared for that. I'm very vigilant about it. I'm constantly being tested so that I am ready for it so I can catch it early and it's not that big of a deal. Alzheimer's is another one that you can test and find out if you're predisposed for that. I found out that fortunately for me, I am not. How do you find all this information out? If you have good insurance, great. Just go to the doctor, have them do it, get the test to the doctor. If you don't have good insurance, which I imagine is most of us, it's going to cost a lot to go to the doctor. It was well over $300 to get blood testing at my doctor last year. This year, I did it myself, and it cost under $50 for the same tests. So there's ways to get tests and things that you need cheaply that then you can send to your doctor and have them look at them. There are several organizations that essentially are your doctor and will prescribe testing for you. The one I use is called Merrick Health. but there are several, and I'll link to all of them below. You can pay a certain amount per year, and you get a certain number of tests per year that are included in that. And you'd save a ton of money doing that versus going through your doctor. You can also do a la carte, which is what I do, meaning I go in there and I want this test and that test and this test and this test, and I just pick the tests that I want. They set it up with a local lab. You go in, get your blood drawn, the tests are done, they send you the results. Easy and very inexpensive. You can find out all sorts of fun things about yourself through these tests. Let's talk about the Alzheimer's thing. That is actually a genetic test that you can do through like 23andMe or something like that, although there have been some issues with those sites. But that's a very specific genetic test, and it's fairly expensive compared to the other ones, but you only need to do it once. The other thing you want to find out is how predisposed you are to getting heart disease. And this is the lipo-A test. Lipoprotein A is a type of protein that carries cholesterol. And if you're genetically predisposed to have a lot of this, you're going to have extra cholesterol in your system, which means that your blood vessels are going to get clogged much faster than people that don't have it. So you can get that test. So those two tests just by themselves are worth their weight in gold, because then you'll know where you stand in those worlds. If you do have the predisposition to heart disease, you get a CT scan every couple of years, and there's other tests you can do to really check your arteries, make sure they are staying clear, and if they aren't, there are things that they can do proactively to keep them clear. So this is far better to find out than to have a heart attack. So you can use these sites to find out all this information. You can get your yearly blood work done there, which includes your PSA for prostate cancer, all the stuff that your doctor wants to check. Learn about these things. Get the results. If you don't understand them, Google them. All that information's out there, but then talk about it with your doctor, because they do know more than you. You can be proactive and say, I got these tests. What do they mean to your doctor? As opposed to waiting for your doctor to prescribe you a test they may never do. And then let's talk about diet. Just start eating better. That doesn't mean you got to cut everything out. It doesn't mean you have to go on some crazy diet. It just means think about what you're eating. Try to eat more fruits and vegetables. Try to eat local food. Try to eat whole foods as opposed to processed foods. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store. That's where the produce section is. That's where the bakery section is. That's where the deli is and all the meats and the dairy containers and the eggs and things. They're usually on the perimeter, and that's where the good stuff is, really. When you start going up and down the aisles, that's where all the processed foods are. So when you shop, try to spend more time on the perimeter, less time in the aisles. Find recipes you like, ask people about recipes they like, and if you don't cook for yourself, try to find restaurants that have more whole food options if you can. There's a cookbook my wife and I love called Made Whole. I did a video on it you can check out here. Phenomenal, really healthy stuff, really tasty stuff. Try to think a little bit more proactively about the fact that what you put in your body now is going to affect how you age. And then socialize. Get out there, make friends, and make friends that you know you can rely on as you age. Maybe even think about moving together to a neighborhood as you age so that you're all in the same neighborhood. Maybe you can pool your resources to have medical care come once or twice a week as you age. You can take care of each other, you check on each other, but also the big thing about staying vibrant as we age is just being social and having those interactions with other human beings. It's really important. You can also work out together. You can walk together. We can start doing things now to help ourselves age better then. So these tips hopefully have helped. Move. Start exercising. Start being proactive with your health. And socialize. Get that good community together that you can age with. So I hope you found this helpful. Please like and subscribe, tell your friends, and as usual, stay healthy.